The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Presidential aspirant and Vice President Leni Robredo is currently in Pampanga to donate antigen kits to various sectors and agencies. Joining us live from Angeles City, Pampanga is Ryan Ang, and he's here to give us more details. Ryan, good morning. What do you have for us?
Charles, Vice President Leni Robredo is in Pampanga to grace a series of events and attend meet and greets with volunteers and supporters. The Vice President started her day by visiting the Municipal Hall of Guagua, Pampanga, where the OVP turned over antigen kits. This was followed by a meet and greet with volunteers and supporters at the Town Plaza. Robredo will also have a meeting with the Philippine Rural Electric Cooperative Association in Clark before turning over antigen kits to the Philippine Air Force. Robredo will likewise meet with sectoral and territorial leaders, volunteers and supporters in Angeles City, where the OVP will also turn over supplies of antigen kits. Robredo is also set to meet Archbishop Emeritus Apuseto, Bishop Florentino Dong Lavarias, clergy, seminarians and laity in San Fernando City. VP Leni will cap the day off by gracing the Outstanding Fernandino awarding at the Convention Center in Barangay San Juan. Charles, by tomorrow, the Vice President will be participating in the KBP Presidential Forum entitled Panata sa Bayan. In the forum, presidential aspirants will lay down their platforms and plans for the country should they win in the upcoming elections. Charles?
Thanks for that, Ryan. That was Ryan Ang reporting live from Pampanga. Former Defense Secretary Gilbert Teodoro said he did not push through with plans to run for vice president, saying he can do more as a senator. On 1PH's Wagpo, Teodoro admitted that he considered running for vice president in tandem with Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. But based on consultations, Teodoro was told that he could be of more help if he was part of Sara's senatorial slate.
Hindi nga natuloy at based on consultations sa mga supporters ko at sa aking pamilya, pinakamaganda siguro maging senador para makatulong din tayo at maka-advocate tayo ng mga ideya natin na kukonsulta rin ako.
While the country has returned to moderate risk for COVID-19, the Health Department flags the rising cases of young children contracting the virus. JC Cosico reports.
From being high and critical, the Philippines' COVID-19 risk classification is now back to moderate. The Health Department says the country's daily new COVID-19 cases is decreasing. Our national positivity rate is down to 35.4% from the peak of 46.8% last January 18.
We show a negative 1 week and 2 week growth rate. Ang average daily attack rate natin nasa high risk pa rin pero bumaba siya sa 19.43 cases for every 100,000 individuals.
While hospital and ICU bed utilization is at low risk.
Karamihan po sa ating mga COVID-19 cases ay banayad or mild lamang ang mga simptomas na maaari namang gamutin sa bahay.
Metro Manila, which is now under Alert Level 2, is also at moderate risk. Apart from NCR, there is also a decrease in cases in Calabarzon and Central Luzon, including the Visayas. But there are select areas in Mindanao like Caraga and Sorsogon that have a slightly higher COVID bed utilization rate.
We are also seeing the other regions na nung tumataas ang kanilang mga kaso, no? But if we look at the trends in the number of cases, especially the 7-day moving average, nagpa-plateau na, no?
The DOH doesn't see any reason to remove the alert level system in our COVID-19 response.
Evolving po ang situation, hindi po tayo natatapos dahil nagka-Omicron, tumaas, bumaba ang kaso, hindi pa po natin alam kung ano mangyayari in the future.
Meanwhile, the DOH also reported an increase in the number of children below 5 years old getting COVID-19. From the peak of 554 cases during the Delta variant surge in September 2021, COVID infections among the age group has risen to 632 from January 24 to 30. However, the Health Department says this should not stop parents from allowing their children outside their homes in areas under Alert Level 2.
Pero halos lahat naman po ng mga kasong to ay banayad or mild. Hindi po natin kailangang takutin ang ating mga kabataan o ang ating mga magulang. Ang kailangan, bigyan ng mas madaming proteksyon ang bata.
With this, the DOH once again calls on parents and guardians to have their children vaccinated against COVID-19. The first batch of Pfizer vaccine with pediatric formulation is expected to arrive today. The initial batch has 780,000 doses. Inoculation for the 5 to 11 age group will begin Friday and will be piloted in 6 vaccination sites in Metro Manila. For News 5, JC Cosico, We Are One News.
One health expert says parents should wait to have their children vaccinated until 2 weeks after experiencing any symptoms. In an interview with Agenda, NITAG member Dr. Maria Consorcia Lim Quizon said that the basic rule is to wait 2 weeks after any illness before getting a vaccine. She added that parents can also have their children undergo swab tests to be sure that they are eligible to get the vaccine.
Ang rule of thumb is 2 weeks pagkatapos nung meron siyang nararamdaman o symptomatic siya. Magpalipas ka ng 2 linggo bago mo dalhin for bakuna.
Meanwhile, speaking to the chiefs, vaccine expert panel member Dr. Ron Jean Solante urged parents to vaccinate their kids. This after reports of high vaccine hesitancy among parents. Solante added, side effects for children are way more tolerable than that for adults.
It's important. We need to feed the right and correct information. As we move forward in opening up, these children should be one of the priority. Kasi pagbalik nila sa face-to-face ng classes, they should be vaccinated na.
The tech world is buzzing with Web3 and its possibilities. But what is this exactly? Watch this Bloomberg Quick Take to find out.
What is Web3? There's a lot of buzz surrounding Web3, but really, what is it? Honestly, it took me a while to wrap my head around it because people make it seem like it's so complicated. But at the heart of it, not really. Web3 is not a platform or a type of technology or something you're going to find in the metaverse. It's actually more like an era or a categorization. But before we dive deeper into this, know that all this categorization is still pretty vague because there isn't some official body out there saying, hey, this is Web3. The way people can say, hey, it's 2022. Long story short, Web3 wants to be a decentralized internet. In Web3, people wanted to take a step back from the Web2 structure where power rested in the hands of a few tech CEOs. At the foundation of Web3 is the development of blockchain. Now, blockchain is the technology behind cryptocurrencies and at its core, decentralized. So how does blockchain decentralize the internet? Usually when talking about blockchain, you hear it associated with Bitcoin and other kinds of cryptocurrencies. But this is because, for example, Bitcoin isn't maintained by just one company, but by a vast network of computers all connected to the internet. Now that we know how Web3 can exist, the question is, why are venture capitalists throwing billions of dollars into Web3? A chunk of that money is going into the development of dApps or dApps. Still debated on how that's said, dApps. dApps or decentralized apps are one of the reasons why you're seeing so much optimism around Web3. Here's my colleague Zuping Huang with more on dApps.
Thanks, Nico. So dApps run on top of blockchains like Ethereum or Solana, instead of servers run by big companies like Facebook. That means no one can actually shut them down. But what's more important is that dApp users can have the full ownership of their data, tokens, or virtual assets for real. Some of the most popular applications are in finance and gaming. For example, this app called PancakeSwap allows you to trade one coin for another without any middleman matching orders. And there's a hit game called Axie Infinity. It's just like Pokemon, but you can sell your virtual pets for money.
At the same time, Web3 also has its skeptics. Elon Musk said it seemed like a marketing buzzword back in December. Cryptographer and Signal app founder Moxie Marlinspike also discussed the issue of servers in a post discussing Web3. Unless people start running their own servers, and very few people and even organizations do this, it's not really decentralized. Accountability could also be a big issue with Web3. Regulators are raising concerns with some issues regarding decentralized finance or DeFi apps that let people lend, borrow, and trade coins with each other. They do so without verifying users' identities and performing anti-money laundering background checks. Finally, there's environmental concerns about the huge amount of computing power some blockchains require. At the end of the day, we have to ask, is Web3 really worth the hype? Or is it just a bunch of tech talk celebrated by a niche market? Let us know what you guys think.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. Hi, Jem. Jem, hi. Morning. Jem, hi.
Hi po, yes. Good morning po.
Kaway-kaway. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. We have some breaking news. Presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos has declined the invitation for tomorrow's KBP Presidential Forum. This was confirmed by KBP President Herman Basbaño in a teleradyo interview. And he said BBM's camp cited conflict of schedule as the reason behind turning down the invitation. At least 2 people are dead and hundreds more are affected as the town of Caraga in Davao Oriental suffers from a diarrhea outbreak. To tell us more about this, we have Jem Avancenia. She's reporting live from Davao Oriental. Jem, good morning. Could you tell us how many people are currently suffering from this outbreak?
Charles, more than 400 residents of Barangay Santiago here in the town of Caraga, Davao Oriental were rushed to different hospitals due to diarrhea. Almost all of the hospitals in the area are at full capacity. That is why most of the patients, or more than 100 of the patients, are admitted here in the makeshift hospital. Almost all of patients were dehydrated and are suffering from vomiting and loose bowel movement. According to some patients, they started experiencing symptoms on Saturday. 2 people already died due to severe dehydration. One of them is an 11-month-old boy. According to Davao Oriental Provincial Health Office, their initial investigation reveals that the water source of the affected community is contaminated. Authorities have already conducted chlorination and are now waiting for the laboratory results of the water samples. Charles, aside from the additional medicines and medical supplies, the makeshift hospital here in Caraga is also calling for more health workers as the province is currently facing COVID-19 surge. Charles?
Thank you for that, and stay safe, Jem. That was Jem Avancenia reporting live from Davao Oriental. Time now for a quick look at some of today's headlines. COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon is officially out of the disqualification case against Bongbong Marcos, now that she is retired from the commission. A study shows Vice President Leni Robredo is the biggest victim of disinformation among the presidentiables. And the COMELEC has rejected the request of party list groups to be included on the front page of the ballot. Be sure to catch the 2022 presidential aspirants as they face the nation in Panata Sabayan, the KBP Presidential Forum in collaboration with the Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas on February 4 at 9 a.m. Tune in to Signal TV Channel 250 on HD and Channel 8 on SD. And this is also available on Signal Play. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.